Imagine watching your father fade away while your own stepbrother secretly drains his bank account. And then imagine holding the power to decide his fate. Prison or decades of slow, grinding restitution. That's the choice I was given. And I made sure he'd never forget me, one paycheck at a time. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, this story will light a fire in you. It's about family betrayal, and a revenge so cold it stretches decades. While you're here, hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories where karma shows up with interest. My dad was a big man with a soft heart. He built his own business from nothing, wore out his hands to give me a life he never had. But by the time this story starts, he was sick. His strong frame shrinking into hospital gowns. His voice raspy but still trying to crack jokes. I lived hours away but I called constantly. And every time he'd tell me, "Don't worry honey, Shorty's taking care of me." Shorty, my stepbrother. The golden child of my dad's second wife, Shanti. He'd been given power of attorney while Dad was too weak to handle bills. On paper it made sense. In reality, it was like handing a fox the keys to the henhouse. I didn't see it at first. Who wants to believe their own brother figure would prey on a dying man? But then bills started showing up unpaid. Accounts I knew were full suddenly empty. Little inconsistencies stacking up like pebbles in my shoe. The day I saw my dad's checking account balance, virtually zero, I felt like I'd been punched. It was a gray afternoon. Rain streaked down my windshield as I pulled into my dad's driveway. The house smelled of stale coffee and sickness. On the kitchen counter sat a pile of unopened mail. Final notices, overdraft alerts. My stomach turned. My hands shook as I opened envelope after envelope. Numbers blurred. Tens of thousands. When I confronted Shorty later that evening, his eyes were cold, lips curled in a smirk. "Dad told me to handle it," he said. "Stay out of it." I remember gripping the edge of the table, knuckles white. In that moment I understood. He wasn't careless. He was stealing. From a dying man. From our father. I took action fast. I became Dad's legal guardian, revoked Shorty's power of attorney, and filed charges. Got a restraining order. It wasn't easy. Every form, every court appearance felt like walking through mud. But I wasn't going to let Shorty get away with it. The victim's advocate assigned to our case, a cousin of mine because that's how small towns work, warned me. Trials like this take years. He'll drag it out. She was right. Months passed. Dad's health declined. Shorty moved out of state. Got a job as a truck driver. Every time he left his home state, I called the court to let them know, just in case it violated his bail. I became his shadow. Not because I enjoyed it, but because I wanted to make sure justice wouldn't slip away. Then Dad died. We buried him in a purple urn. His favorite color. As I lowered it into the earth, my grief mixed with a cold determination. I would not let Shorty profit from his death. 6 months ago my cousin called me again. Her voice was brisk, businesslike, but I could hear the undertone of satisfaction. It's finally happening. Trials being set. The court wants input from the family on plea deals and sentencing. Shorty had been indicted on felony elder abuse. 15 years in prison. But there was a catch. She explained. We can push for prison time or plea him down to work release with restitution. Prison, he's locked up, but you probably won't see much money back. Work release. He's free but you get restitution. I hung up and sat in silence. Outside cicadas buzzed. Inside my heart pounded. I realized I was holding his fate in my hands. What kind of God did I want to be? I grabbed a notepad. Prison 15 years. Realistically out in 7. Restitution. Who knows? But if he was working. If he was forced to send me money every single month. Be there. Every payday, every bank transfer, a little reminder of what he did. He wouldn't rot away forgotten. He'd toil. For decades. For me. I wrote the numbers down. $130,539.39 stolen. $300 a month repayment. 36 years. He'd be middle-aged, then old, still sending me checks. I'd be the ghost over his shoulder. Smiled. It was the kind of cold smile you don't admit to. I knew my choice. The next morning I called my cousin. My voice was steady. We'll take the plea deal. Felony supervised release with restitution. There was a pause. Then she said, "Got it." Weeks passed. Then another call. "He accepted," she said. Here's what Shorty agreed to. Guilty plea to felony elder exploitation, first degree. 15 years split and suspended. No jail time but 2 years of felony work supervision. Daily call-ins, frequent drug tests, constant monitoring. To 5 more years of probation. Mandatory check-ins with the judge to ensure he's paying restitution. $130,539.39 owed. $300 a month starting January 1, 2024. Miss a payment, go to jail. As she read the conditions, I pictured him hearing them for the first time. That cocky smirk wiped clean. People think revenge is loud. Screaming confrontation. Sometimes it's quiet. Paperwork. Bank transfers. Decades-long leash. I imagine Shorty now. Alarm clock blaring at dawn, pulling on a grimy work uniform. Clocking in at some warehouse or truck yard. Sweat dripping down his back. And every month, a slice of that hard-earned paycheck vanishing into my account. He'll think of me when he writes the check. He'll curse me. But he'll pay. Because if he doesn't, he goes to jail. He built his own cage. I just locked the door. And the best part, I don't have to lift a finger. The court and the judge are my enforcers. That night before I called the advocate, I'd asked myself aloud, what kind of God do you want to be? Not the merciful one who lets him off easy. Not the wrathful one who grants him quick punishment and forgets him. I chose to be the quiet God. The one who lingers. The one who makes him work for decades to pay for what he did. It's strange. You expect some dramatic finale. Handcuffs, courtroom gasps. Instead, my victory came as a PDF attachment in an email. Restitution order. Dry legal language. But when I opened it, I felt a rush of satisfaction so deep it made my hands shake. I poured myself a drink. The ice clinked in the glass. Outside snow fell. Inside I smiled. Dad would have liked this ending. Low justice. I whispered. Merry Christmas, Dad. We got him. For decades, Shorty will wake up and know that part of his day belongs to me. Every hour he spends sweating on the job will pay back what he stole from our father. He won't forget. Not for 36 years. And if he slips, if he misses a single payment, he'll finally taste prison. I won't even have to lift a phone. The system will do it for me. That's the beauty of it. My revenge isn't a moment. It's a life sentence of remembering. Betrayal cuts deepest when it comes from family. People ask me if I feel guilty. I don't. Shorty chose this path when he stole from a dying man. All I did was hold up a mirror and let the system do its work. Justice isn't always fast. But sometimes it's sweet or slow. What would you have done? Locked him up or made him pay for decades? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this slow burn tale of revenge, hit like, subscribe and share this video. Because sometimes the coldest revenge isn't a punch, it's a paycheck.